Thanks for having me. I wasn't expecting to have to give this presentation just weeks before my defense, but there's always balance to be found. So I wanted to start off with a question. Language is simply words, right? No, of course not. It's so much more than that. For any successful communication, words aren't enough. So if words aren't enough, what is? We've seen an odd trend emerge from content farms. These are YouTube channels that designed to elicit us to watch it. They specialize, and some of them specialize in what are called kissing challenge videos. What are these videos? This is where the content creator goes out in public and tries to convince strangers to kiss them on the face or mouth, or other strangers on the face or mouth for clout, but often money. Now, while I personally find this a little bit strange, going out and kissing random people, it's nonetheless a part of Western social norms. I would definitely say it's not standard behavior, but it certainly isn't impossible. I can't imagine Americans doing this. Now,
I'm going to try.
What would happen if we took this kissing challenge video and we took it to Japan, a country on the other side of the world? How would it work? Let's find out.
I'm going to try and kiss girls I've never met before using this translation device, ERIK.
この翻訳デバイス、ERIKを使って初対面の女性にキスを挑みます。
All right, let's go and do this.
How'd it go? Let's find out.
It's very normal in the UK.
イギリスでは普通のことだよ。
日本。
Hey, just one kiss. Just one kiss.
I just wanted to say, can I...
Wow, that was amazing.
It in fact wasn't amazing. This was a disaster for the company that produced this official advertisement. This was made to showcase the capabilities of their wearable translation device. What happened? Well, they faced a lot of backlash. This was 10 years ago. And the company that produced this, Logbar, wasn't even an American company. This isn't a story about a Western company making a whoopsie, right? This is a Japanese startup that thought that words were enough, but they're not. There's so much more to be had for any successful communication. How do we get people to recognize the more? The deeper part of communication. This is a monumental task because we're asking people to perceive the imperceivable. When we're up against monumental assumptions that language is simply words, it's not. Once coming to OSU, I had the chance to study some excellent pedagogy courses that help clarify the architecture that guides our intention, the meaning and framework that forms our intentions. These intentions come down to hows, social acts, that clarify how we move and enact change in the world. Hows, such as how to cut through a crowd, how to refer to yourself, how to beckon someone over. These might look strange, different than how you might do it. They get even more complex when you consider more abstract social acts, such as how to convince, how to negotiate, how to seal the deal. How do we do this? How do we get to this understanding? And what's even more complicated is that these social acts are fleeting. It's very difficult to capture these into a way that's easily learnable and transportable. How do we compartmentalize and do these social acts in a way that's replayable and educational? This is what led me to virtual reality technology. Virtual reality is a way to induce behavior from a very convincing computer-generated illusion. In essence, we can trick the body to act a certain way, react in a specific way. And from that, we can then build computer simulations to train people to react in ways that are socially acceptable. So over the past 6 years, I've spent a tremendous amount of time developing my skills in adult learning theory, of course, better understanding perform culture approach, a way of teaching language that we specialize here at the Department of East Asian Languages and Literature, as well as developing my technical skills. Because I believe in our current technological era, we need to have the autonomy to build our own tools and experiences. So for my master's thesis, I built a small prototype that allows students of Japanese to navigate an apartment and do tasks that they may do in Japan, such as cooking, bathing, and laying out slippers for when guests come over, an experience they could never have unless they went to Japan firsthand. In a way, we've brought Japan here to Ohio State. Before my dissertation, I wanted to push much farther. I wanted to train students how to interact with humans, intercultural communication, with a simple act of handing over a report. Now you may say, handing over a report, it couldn't get more basic than that. But there's all of these silent rituals that we do every single day without thinking. And one of them in Japanese culture is handing over a report with the text orientation facing the person you're handing it over to. So we built it, and we had students do it over and over and over and over again to train and prepare for these crucial office interactions that they may do once they enter the workforce and go to work in Japan. Just to give a bit of a background, language learning typically takes place in 4 modalities: text that we read or write, audio that we listen or shadow, or video that we watch or analyze. But there's a 4th modality, and that's performance. Performance typically requires an in-person experience where you interact with somebody. But in our digital era, it's becoming more difficult to find people to practice these behaviors with, these social acts with, without simply going to, in this case, Japan. So in this way, we're helping students train their ability to do culture. And culture is what I'm getting at here. Not in the hallmark sense, like Mount Rushmore, Statue of Liberty, or Mount Fuji, but in the behavioral sense. How to do things, how to participate in society. And you may be asking, well, why does this matter? I'm not going to learn Japanese. That's fine. But you are living artifacts of culture. Coming into this room, you performed culture. You greeted people. Some of you I saw even hugged each other, things that other societies might not deem as acceptable, yet we do here. If we want people to learn to participate in other societies, we too must learn how we express ourselves and how we enact culture. So, there's a couple of thanks in order. I want to thank the Innovation Commercialization Office, ERIK, the Advanced Computing Center for the Arts and Designs, as well as my home department, the Department of East Asian Languages and Literature at Deal, for allowing my research to grow into what it is. I'm unbelievably thankful to have this opportunity, especially from the humanities, where this kind of innovational work doesn't occur. I'm also incredibly grateful for the Office of Commercialization for allowing me to commercialize this work and take my research out of OSU and see what we can do with it, and have the opportunity to build tools that educators, cultural coaches, as well as experts in various domains can participate and learn how to perform in another culture. So I invite you all to, whenever you do any cross-cultural work, consider not what people are doing, but how they're doing it, right? We live in a deep, connected, intersubjective, culturally relative reality, which is unbelievable. And this is where real human connection happens, where we view from each other's perspective how we see the world and do transformative work in any domain: diplomacy, international trade. This is where transformations happen, where human connections are made, and that's through culture. So, thank you.